If there was an extra medium size shirt,
Yeah.
would the extra medium shirt be bigger or smaller than a medium?
Oh, it'd be bigger because large, extra large.
But then extra small.
Yeah.
To me, extra medium is like extra snug, extra tight.
Oh my God, you're right. Extra medium wouldn't be extra medium.
But then it could.
This video and the people in it are bad. I don't really mean all that, but this is a topic that has been on my mind for literally years. I saw it when I was first in college, and I knew that there was a right answer, and I also knew that it didn't seem like anyone was really getting to that right answer. And now that I have a Bachelor of Arts in Communication, that means that I know how words work, and I'm gonna tell you how they work. What does extra medium mean? So when we're talking about extra medium, really we're just talking about the word extra. You know what medium means, but extra is a little bit tricky in this context. Webster's dictionary defines it as more than is due, usual, or necessary. I think it's the word more that really trips people into thinking that extra is in some way bigger than just a regular medium. All TikTok has to say about it is that maybe it's longer, maybe it's wider, maybe there's a word schmedium for in between small and medium. And this just ridiculous comment from PP. Extra medium is just medium that is doing too much. This comment not only sucks, but it's a good implication of kind of where people's heads are at. PP, if you're watching this, I'm sorry, you're wrong, and you will never be right. So extra kind of gets added in with the thought of addition, and it makes sense because if you get extra food, you're getting more food. If you pick up extra hours at work, you're taking more hours. So kind of this idea that it's an add-on to something, which kind of makes people put it somewhere in between medium and large on the scale. That is a reasonable kind of thought to have. It's wrong, but it's a reasonable thought to have. So unfortunately, extra just does not mean addition in this case. Before I get into too much of that, I want to go over some theories that I have about why we kind of trend this way. We live in a low context society in America, and I know that because of my communication degree. Basically, in a low context culture, we're saying more or less exactly what we mean and want to happen when we say something, and high context cultures rely a lot more on context, how something is said, why something is said, things like that. So to simplify it, I might say, can you please take the trash out? Whereas someone in a high context culture like Japan or Korea may say, the trash is getting full, with the implication obviously that someone should be taking the trash out soon. That's obviously an oversimplification. People in Korea can ask their partners to take the trash out. It's not that rigid, but it is important to kind of looking at why we take things at face value in America with stuff like this, because the word extra is not being considered as a modifier of the word large. It's being taken just on its own. And you can even see that with sizing charts. Japan, which is a high context culture, uses literal numbers that count up, whereas we use small, medium, large, and then we've tacked extra onto the ends of that. But when you look at an XL tag, are you considering that XL means two different words, extra large? Or are you considering it kind of just one thing, XL on its own, and taking that for what it is? Let's take a very simple sentence, the extra large shirt. The shirt is our noun, that's the thing. Large is an adjective describing that noun. So this shirt is large. Extra is an adjective of an adjective. Yes, this shirt is large. Extra is saying it's more large than just a large would be. An adjective of an adjective is called an adverb, which is beyond the usual size, extent, or degree in terms of extra. And it's really funny because the example is actually extra large, which is perfect for what we're talking about. Again, we're talking about beyond usual. But the thing we need to consider there is the word degree. This thing is a standard distribution. This is used all the time in statistics. Yes, I took a year of statistics as well. Basically, we're taking data points and we're seeing how many people fit within those data points. And like you'd probably expect for a lot of things that you can think about, most people are kind of in the middle of an average range, and then there's people that are on the very low side or on the very high side. A great example of standard distribution is baby weight in the US. Most babies are born within an average weight. Some babies are born very small compared to that. Some babies are born very large compared to that. It's just kind of how it works. So what this graph is saying is that medium is the middle, literally where the most people will fit. So large is one standard deviation, or just one notch away from medium, moving up. And then extra large is outside of that. Small goes the other way. It clicks down, and then extra small, even smaller than that. So extra doesn't really mean more in this case, because if extra meant more, we could kind of expect the graph to look like this: small, extra small, medium, and then going forward. Obviously, it doesn't look like that. What extra is kind of looking at is, this is small. We need a higher degree of small. What it is how far you're moving away from this middle point. This is the medium. Small is less than the medium. Extra small is a higher degree less than the medium. So if we're already at the medium, if we're here, how can we get more medium? How can we get a degree closer to medium? In 2013, I had an experience that I will never forget. I don't actually remember what year it is, but when I was a young lad, I hated clothing shopping. And to be honest, I still kind of do. Stores are just really overstimulating. I have to look at myself a lot more than I'd like to. And just generally, I like what I like. I'll wear holes in my shoes rather than get new ones, really any day of the week. So preteen Austin was a bit of a nightmare because I needed new clothes for school, and I knew that. And deep down, I wanted that. But it was just such a process, and I hated it, particularly with pants. I finally found pants that I like, not jeans, because I will never wear jeans, and they were the right size, they were the right color, everything was great. I tried them on, and they were just a little bit too short on the end. Literally everything else is perfect, but they showed my ankle a little bit too much, especially before that was cool. I was pretty dejected. I thought I found the pair for me, and I just didn't. So my mom found a pair in a really similar color, and I immediately was like, oh, those are the wrong size, that doesn't fit me. And she goes, oh, it kind of just depends how they're cut. What? So you're telling me that a pair of pants can be the exact same size as another pair of pants, but fit differently? In other words, I'm just kind of trying on stuff and seeing what isn't fun. Now, as a man, I can understand how and why certain items that are assembled might have just a little bit of a difference in them. And I also know that it really doesn't make much sense. The size that you are is the size that you are, even though maybe some things are just a little bit off. But oh my God, I was so mad. So not only am I having a hard time finding pants that fit my naturally voluptuous frame, but I'm also just kind of gambling on how that pants was cut off the assembly line. And I think it's super possible that my mom was just a bit hyperbolic. You know, she saw her son who was insecure and having a hard time and wanted to give me hope, show me that I'll find a pair of pants that work just for me. It didn't work on that day. So Mom, I love you very much. Thank you for taking me to find clothes that fit. And we're joined here with Austin live on scene to talk just a bit more about these size differences. Austin? Thanks, Austin. So when we're looking at sizes of shirts, the same size of shirt can be just a little bit different for so many reasons. If it's done by hand, obviously that can affect things. If it's done on a machine, maybe the machine isn't calibrated super exact, or the machine from different factories for the same company are different from each other just slightly. So that leads to 3 shirts here that are all larges and are definitely not extra larges or mediums, but they're just a little bit different from each other. Maybe the shoulder sits a little different. Maybe they're a bit longer. Maybe they're a bit wider, whatever it may be. But obviously these companies have measurements, right? They have certain numbers they're going for. Sometimes they just don't quite hit them. So when we look at medium, when you get a medium shirt, you're not getting right on this line. You're actually getting somewhere within this bubble. And this goes for really every size. Maybe your medium shirt just happens to be a little bit bigger than it should be, or fit a little bit looser. Maybe on the other hand, it's just a little bit smaller. So extra medium would be an extra degree towards medium, right? Extra medium would be fighting to close that gap and bring you actually onto that line. I'm going to try really hard to sell you on this. I showed my girlfriend and she did agree with me, but she also said I was really bad at explaining it. So let's give it a go here. This is just an average shirt. There's 4 different dimensions for measuring it. Let's look at D, the arm length. This is how long the length of this t-shirt should be. Maybe off the production line, it's just a little bit longer than that. Maybe off the production line, it's way longer than that. Or maybe, it could be smaller in any degree. So yes, this is a medium shirt. Yes, it has a length for what the arm should be, but because of manufacturing issues, because of fabric, whatever, it might be just a little bit off. Basically what we're doing is we're taking a gamble. We have a shirt and we have the dimensions that it can vary on. You're rolling the dice, essentially. what is actually true to what the manufacturer wants a medium to be, what's a little bit longer, what's a lot a bit longer, what's shorter, right? So an extra medium is literally what's going to be perfect, what's going to have every measurement be exactly what it should be in order to be a medium shirt. So instead of picking up a medium shirt and it being just a little bit different than all the other medium shirts, what if you could get a shirt that was guaranteed to be in every dimension exactly what the manufacturer wanted it to be? It's precisely on that line of being medium. So in other words, you could say that extra medium is just medium that's doing what the fuck? So in other words, you could say that extra medium is just medium that's doing too much.